On The Young and the Restless, tomorrow, Friday, July 25th, 2025, it's Sally and Billy to the rescue. But can they help Nick and Sharon escape, or will they become prisoners too? We've got the photo spoilers of what's coming up. Billy tries to stop the bleeding, but Nick is in pretty rough shape. He needs medical attention and has to go find some help. It's Sharon's turn to take care of Nick in a crisis. She takes over nursing his wound while Billy goes for help. Sally is shocked when Billy returns with blood on his hands. Usually she wants to stay out of the mess, but this time Nick is desperate for help. Is there some sort of medical experience Sally has that can save him? Sally looks at Nick's wound as Sharon holds the champagne bottle. Are they in danger of the security guard regaining consciousness? Billy watches as Sally helps. She wraps his wound and ties a makeshift bandage on it so they can try to escape. Sally, Billy, and Sharon help Nick to his feet. He couldn't walk earlier, but they needed to get out of the room before they all became prisoners, or worse. Can they escape before someone finds them? Meanwhile, back at the train, Victor and Chance were interrogating Carter. They let him leave, but he said too much and admitted he knew about the knife under Nick's sink. When Kane walked in, he was none too pleased to find them all talking and wanted to talk to Carter alone. Victor takes matters into his own hands. He's already warned Kane not to cross him, but Kane didn't care about Victor's opinion. Now Victor knows the weak link, Carter. He is tired of Kane's games and wants some answers, including to know where his son has been taken. Chance asks Kane questions about Carter, the knife, Nick, and where his hacky sack disappeared to. Lily makes herself a drink as Carter talks to her. Amanda is listening carefully. Hopefully Lily's not drinking from Kane's private reserve. When Kane finds his most trusted employees in the courtyard, he is less than pleased. Did he overhear some revelations? Or was he in on everything all along? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Welcome to The Young and the Restless Daily YAPP. For a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On The Young and the Restless, Jack has found himself in a pickle. He wants to fulfill Billy's need to get Jack's approval, but Billy doesn't seem to understand that he needs it. Say what? Jack and Diane are a little confusing these days, but we'll try to keep up. Jack invested a large amount of money into Billy's company, Abbott Communications. The only thing he knew was that Billy held a grudge with Victor, and he wanted to start a company with the family name on it. At first, Jack wanted to prevent Billy from doing that, but Billy had to remind him that it was his name too. Jack now claims that he wanted to teach Billy a lesson, but has decided that maybe it's not his place to teach. Now we're getting somewhere. At some point, Jack has to realize that Billy is a middle-aged man with kids who are practically adults, and he's not an impudent child who needs a babysitter. After the big speech Jack gave Billy about being proud of him and having confidence in him, what happened to revert Jack back to hypocrisy? Sure, Billy was a wild child, but Smilin' Jack isn't really the barometer of clean pasts. Yep, Billy had a gambling problem, but if we're going tit for tat, Jack had a substance abuse problem. Arguably, Billy's made mistakes in the business world, but wasn't Jack the one who convinced his dad to make Jabot public and lost majority shares to Victor the same day it opened on the stock exchange? Billy's crime du jour was saying if he might put Sally in charge of his company, something Jack arbitrarily did with Diane, without consulting his brother. Speaking of Diane, she sure has an opinion of Billy's entire life and relationship with Jack, considering she wasn't there for most of it since she was pretending to be dead. And speaking of dead, maybe Jack should be more concerned that Damien was just murdered and Nick's the prime suspect than worrying about what Billy might be thinking. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode of The Young and the Restless, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, July 25th, have Victor taking matters into his own hands, Billy and Sally working together to help an innocent victim, and Nikki being backed into a corner. On Friday's episode, watch for Victor to take matters into his own hands. No one will be surprised to see Victor step up and get the job done. He's a man of action, after all. When Nick was imprisoned decades ago for Matt Clark's attempted murder, Victor, along with authorities, burst into the prison and rescued Nick. Victor will do anything to protect his family, and good luck to anyone who tries to stop him. If Kane ever thought he was going to get Chancellor back from Victor, he has chosen the wrong path by imprisoning Nick. Watch for Sally and Billy team up to help someone in need on Friday's episode. The Abbott Communications team will be lending aid to Nick, whose predicament has only gotten worse since Carter and his security guard insisted that Nick stay under house arrest. Sharon refused to leave Nick's side. She's not the only one who is looking out for Nick. Sally and Billy are going to do their best to make sure Nick gets to safety. Is Nikki vulnerable while Victor's off helping Nick? Damien's killer is still on the loose, so that means nobody is safe. Nikki learned from Kyle that Victor worked with Audra to get Kyle to betray Claire. If Kyle had slept with Audra, Claire's heart would have been broken. Victor would have walked off with a cool $5 million from Kyle and the satisfaction that he'd been right all along. Maybe Nikki is going to find herself torn between being loyal to Victor and wanting Claire not to be hurt. Fans are predicting that she will take things too far with Kyle. Kyle caught Audra on her game. He could see her coming a mile away. He thinks this game is over yet, but it's Audra. Is she going to go down without a fight? Fans of The Young and the Restless are plotting her next move. How far is she willing to go to get what she wants? That's the question on one soap opera message board. One fan asked, "Audra is not going to lure Kyle into her bed. He made that clear. And Victor is out of patience and has given her an ultimatum. Get his seduction done now or no Vibrante cash. So what will Audra do next?" The original poster already has a devious plan in mind. Would Audra go as far as drugging Kyle and sleeping with him? She could send pictures to Victor as proof. Victor could share those photos with Claire to prove that she can't trust her boyfriend. Audra doesn't have long to seduce Kyle. She has to make it happen that night. Some fans think Victor should read the room. He knows good and well that Audra and Nate are in a relationship, but just doesn't care. "I'm hoping Kyle stays far away from Audra as possible," one fan wrote. As for Audra, she claims that she has Kyle right where she wants him, but it's hard to tell how. Kyle insists that she will never get a piece of him. It's hard to tell what Audra will do next unless she drugs him. She will have to do something scandalous and claim that it's good for PR. Although Kyle is already a few steps ahead of her, she will turn this around on Kyle somehow. Maybe she has a picture and she can add some scandalous scenario, or maybe she'll claim he attacked her, one fan speculated. But Kyle is planning something as well. He wants to make sure that Audra won't recover from. What do you think Audra will plan next? Share your theories in the comments section below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that almost dying could change Nick Newman's heart. Will Nick's near-death experience be the reason he goes all in on a Sharon Newman reunion? Y&R fans know Nick was there for Sharon throughout all the fatal Heather Stevens drama. Nick had faith in Sharon and refused to give up until her name was cleared. Sharon's feelings for Nick grew stronger during that time, but he ultimately insisted they should stick to friendship. It's clear that Sharon still wants more, so it's just a matter of whether Nick can get on the same page. Nick helped ride to the rescue during Sharon's clinic storyline with Martin Laurent as well, but now he's the one facing life and death stakes. Thanks to Nick getting seriously wounded in the July 23rd episode, he's facing major blood loss. Nick's survival is in jeopardy, and that could turn into a powerful reminder of how much he has to lose. Sharon and Nick have already been bonding over their hostage situation, but Nick's near-death experience could strengthen that bond even more. Nick will obviously pull through this crisis, but he may emerge from it a changed man. This seems like the perfect time for Nick to reevaluate his life and what he wants out of it. Once Nick survives this ordeal and gets on the road to recovery, he may realize the importance of making the most of every moment. Perhaps Nick could decide he doesn't want to keep spinning his wheels with Sharon and wasting time when they could be a couple again. Nick may determine that true love is worth the risk and shock Sharon by pushing for a real future together, one that's meant to last. Do you think a big wake-up call could be ahead for Nick? Will almost dying be enough to spark an epiphany and make Nick realize Sharon is his soulmate? The Young and the Restless, spoilers say Nick may make some updates to his perspective after this whole nightmare in Nice, so stay tuned to see if that'll mean good news for Sharon. Adam and Victoria's days of fighting could be over. Adam and Victoria have been embroiled in a sibling rivalry for years on The Young and the Restless. Adam's the black sheep of the Newman family, and Victoria hasn't shown any kindness or forgiveness toward her half-brother. However, recent events have shifted the siblings' dynamic. While the Newman family is in France, Adam and Victoria stayed in Genoa City. Adam tended to business at Newman Media, while Victoria cared for an ailing Cole. Sadly, Cole's health worsened, and he passed away. It's been a heartbreaking time for Victoria, who found support from her brother Adam. The two have always had a frosty relationship, but their recent scenes hint at a turning point for the siblings. Adam and Victoria seem to have met on equal ground. It was realistic, organic, and heartfelt. I'm patiently waiting for more heartfelt and engaging exchanges between them as they build this relationship, wrote one viewer. I love that Victoria seems to finally trust Adam enough to confide in him and trust his opinion on such a serious topic, one user replied. Their rivalry sucks. They need to end it. It was nice seeing them support each other, another fan wrote. Victoria's hated Adam because of his devious actions toward the family and her ex-husband, Billy. But with Adam turning over a new leaf and being there during Victoria's time of need, she'll start to view him differently. Adam and Victoria's bond will surprise the Newmans when they return from France. While Victoria's relationship with Adam becomes stronger, her relationship with the rest of the family may falter. Victoria might resent them for being in France while she was home grieving for Cole. Soap Hub puts Jack Abbott on the couch to see why he's really cutting Billy off. On the July 24th episode of The Young and the Restless, Jack lamented to Diane that he's afraid the best thing he can do for Billy now is to stop enabling his stupidity, which means cutting Billy off completely. No more second, third, fourth, 17th chances. Jack thinks he knows why he's doing this, but we know better. Please join Jack and us on the couch for a very thorough head shrinking. There is such a huge age difference between Jack and his brother Billy that Jack had time to sleep with Billy's mother Jill years before Billy was born. So the two didn't grow up together and didn't have a common childhood experience. Jack accepted Billy, even though he hated Billy's mother because Jack always only wanted one thing in life: his father's love and approval. When John died, Jack stepped in as a quasi-father figure to Billy, not because he wanted to, but because he still wanted to make John proud. Billy was John's late-in-life child, but he wasn't Daddy's favorite. Jack was John's firstborn son, but he wasn't Daddy's favorite either. That honor fell to Ashley, the one Abbott child who wasn't even biologically John's. Jack resented Billy and thought that if he kept helping him out, then that would prove that Jack may not have been John's best child, but he was his best boy. That still counted for something, except that no matter how much Jack tried to help Billy, his brother never appreciated it. And if Billy never appreciated it, then it was the same as John not appreciating it. And if John wasn't appreciating it, then why was Jack bothering? He may have told Diane that this would be for Billy's own good, but in reality, this is Jack throwing in the towel. Nothing he does for Billy makes Jack feel better about himself, which is what this was all about in the first place. Fans shared their thoughts on their favorite version of Summer and who they would like to see in the role. Early May was the last time that fans of The Young and the Restless saw Summer on their screens. She headed off to Europe to find two new fill-ins for Marchetti, since Sally and Chloe are working with their respective boyfriends. Actress Allison Lanier announced her departure from the role around that time. However, Summer will have to return to Genoa City at some point, and if she does, she's likely to get a recast. Fans of the soap are sharing their thoughts on the perfect replacement and who they would like to see return. Soap Hub took to social media to share a burning question. We asked YNR fans on Facebook what their dream recast of Summer Newman is. Most of them compared Lanier's version of Summer to King's. One fan wrote, "Anybody except Hunter King," while another shared, "Hunter King. I never liked Allison in her place. Seems like no one could agree on which actress they liked the most." "Neither, they're both snobs," wrote another fan, referring to the character. However, one fan had an idea. "Neither, but if one must come back, then Hunter King." Another agreed, writing, "Hunter King, but I doubt if she'll come back since she's doing Hallmark movies now." Mystery deepens on The Young and the Restless as the presumed conspirators claim innocence in the soap's upcoming episodes. While Nick's escape plan fails miserably, Kane will need to react to the situation. Meanwhile, Victor will take a decisive stand when Nikki faces danger. Alone, Chance has less power to take control of the events. The past few weeks on The Young and the Restless saw all the central characters cooped up in Nice. While ignorant of the purpose of their isolated stay and maze games, they soon identified their host as Kane Ashby from the past. The billionaire Kane claimed to want business associations with them in Genoa City. As such, Phyllis and Billy were seen on board with him. However, the unexpected murder of Damien changed the equation within the maze. While Kane declared to have been the real target of the murderer, Lily accused Kane of the crime after she declared her love for Damien. To add to the confusion, the crime weapon was discovered in Nick's bathroom, driving Kane to suspect him. The host quickly put Nick and Sharon under house arrest. Victor planned to stand up to Kane's atrocities, while Nick attempted to escape the locked room. Elsewhere, Kyle called out Audra's seduction plan. He also emphasized his win over Victor in the long-running CBS daily soap. Nikki Newman has been wanting to leave the isolated hospitality and even agreed to leave with Nick. However, with Nick kept under house arrest, Nikki is left with others in the game. While Chance and Victor interrogated Carter for his questionable testimony, Nikki was left to take care of herself. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Nikki will face some threat in the coming days. While Victor will rescue his wife in the nick of time, he will blast Kane for causing harm to his guests one by one. Kane will likely realize that the situation is out of his hands. As he loses control of the game he laid out, he will also need to prepare for Victor's revenge after the latter's wife survives a risky incident. On Thursday, Nick gets hurt after his botched attempt at escaping house arrest. Since he will continue to bleed even after Sharon gets Billy and Sally to pitch in, his companions will push for an expert medical team. While Kane has been pretending a lack of cellular connectivity in his estate, he has been using his phone secretly. As such, he will need to use it to get medical care for Nick before things take a turn for the worse. The soap's spoilers suggest Nick will fight for his life at Nice. Meanwhile, with the connectivity restored, the guests will make phone calls to their loved ones in Genoa City. Kyle will connect to Claire and learn about Cole's death. The Newman family may also talk to Victoria as she fights grief. After the guests are told that the phone lines are up, Audra will call Nate to inform him about Damien's murder. She will hand out as much information available so far. This will leave Nate shocked. Audra will possibly ask him to break the news to Amy. Nate will be worried about his task of informing Amy that her son will not return alive from his boss's estate. Meanwhile, Audra may pretend that her business trip is a success, and her plan has worked. However, she will likely not accept her shady interaction with Kyle. With Kyle busting her seduction deal with Victor, she may be in an uncomfortable position. Recently, Phyllis and Billy agreed that they need to save their job opportunity and business plans by saving Kane's reputation. As such, they decided to defend their host. Phyllis also claimed for sure that Kane did not murder Damien. The upcoming episodes will find Sally worried about all the crimes in Kane's estate. She may try to convince Billy to stay away from the Kane trouble. She will ask him to give up his dream of controlling Chancellor. On the other hand, Sharon will be worried about Nick's deteriorating health condition. She may blame Kane for this injury. As such, she will be disturbed by Phyllis's defense of their host. Fed up with her rival's stance, Ishiani, Sharon will eventually blow up on Phyllis. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of July 28th reveal there will be some bombshells and curveballs. Kane Ashby will reel over how out of control his situation has become. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman faces danger. There will also be a medical emergency, so let's get started. Let's start off with Nikki, who will land in danger. Kane has no interest in physically hurting anyone. It's hard for anyone to believe that with all these secrets and mind games, though. Of course, fans know that Victor Newman zooms to the rescue to save Nikki just in time. Over with Kane, his game has turned into a real murder. Kane didn't kill Damian Kane. However, someone is sure setting it up to make it seem like he's guilty. It's also making Kane question the people closest to him, the ones he trusts the most. Kane and Amanda Sinclair are already accusing each other of disloyalty, but they are both innocent. Kane likely never sent anyone down the mountain to get the police, so he's going to have to start getting honest before someone else dies. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for next week, reveal that Nick Newman will need medical attention following a scuffle. Victor will vow revenge, but once again, Kane will claim he had nothing to do with Nick getting attacked. If it turns out Kane has been lying about there being no service, then everyone could start to demand they contact their loved ones. Kyle Abbott will want to reassure Claire Grace Newman, but she has been dealing with Cole Howard's death. Meanwhile, Audra Charles will need to call Nate Hastings, who might have to decide how to share the news with Amy Lewis. Nate is pretty perceptive and will notice something off in Audra's voice. Of course, Nate could be so shocked by Damian's death that he might not be as perceptive as usual. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman will continue spying on Holden Novak. Meanwhile, Claire could continue to lean on Holden for support while Kyle is out of town. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of July 28th to the 25th? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. The Young and the Restless, spoilers and updates tease that numerous fans are urging the show to put an end to the captivity storylines involving Sharon Newman. Is it possible for this character to overcome the curse of kidnapping? Sharon Case is a skilled actress capable of portraying a diverse range of storylines, yet she has recently found herself in a repetitive situation. Over the past few months, Sharon has repeatedly been in scenarios where she is held against her will. Initially, she became Jordan's prisoner in the sewer, which was quite a harrowing experience for her. The following kidnapping incident occurred when Sharon was confined with Phyllis Summers in an old psychiatric facility, where they were subjected to Martin Laurent's psychological manipulations. Now, Sharon and Nick Newman are under house arrest at Kane Ashby's estate. But let's be honest, and just call it what it really is. They are being held hostage. Sharon has endured so much trauma from her kidnappings that she experienced a panic attack in that storage room. It's evident that all these situations of captivity are weighing heavily on her mentally. While a compelling hostage storyline can be entertaining occasionally, is Y&R pushing the limits with the relentless kidnappings involving Sharon? It's beginning to feel excessively repetitive, leading many viewers to voice their concerns on social media. Soap operas have a wealth of other themes to explore, so it would be refreshing to see more diversity in Sharon's storylines in the future. There are definitely other situations that Sharon could find herself in that don't require her to be confined. The kidnapping stories are getting a little bit old and definitely not exciting. Once Sharon's recent ordeal is behind her, concentrating on her love life could be a wise choice and allow her to find, or perhaps, recapture, true love for a change. The show might finally deliver what Nick and Sharon supporters have been hoping for if they allow this couple to come back together. Nevertheless, Sharon may grow weary of her attempts to escape the friend zone, and if that happens, she might eventually pursue a relationship with another man. It would be fascinating to watch Sharon develop feelings for someone new and embark on a new beginning, hopefully one that's lasting this time and not so tumultuous. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, July 25th, reveals Kane Ashby will put Carter on the hot seat. Also coming up, Sally Spectra will save Nick Newman's life. Plus, Victor Newman and Chance Chancellor will eavesdrop. And Nikki Newman will take matters into her own hands. Y&R spoilers tease Nikki will tell Lauren Fenmore she thinks Nick's arrest is a power play. Kane is using it as leverage to get Chancellor Industries, and she's not about to let her son go down for murder. It's almost sounding like you're ready to give in to Kane and give him what he wants, Lauren will say. Let's plan a strategy where there could be another way to end this. However, Nikki won't be having it. If I have to sacrifice Chancellor to keep my son safe, I will do that in a heartbeat. Meanwhile, Billy Abbott will tell Sharon Newman he thinks he knows someone who can help Nick. If that doesn't work, I'll go down the mountain myself, he'll say. So, Sharon will stay with Nick. Sharon will tell him Billy's getting someone who can help immediately. We're gonna get you through this, she'll add. I'm going to regale you with memories of your favorite things in the world, Noah and Summer and Christian and Faith. As for Billy, he'll tell Sally that Nick needs her. He'll remind her she told him she helped carnies when they were injured. I'm hardly an EMT, she'll reply, but she'll do what she can. They'll arrive at the storage room. This is the medical expert? Sharon will say. Billy will tell her to give Sally a chance. She'll say she needs something to clean the wound, and Sharon will find some alcohol. Nick will almost pass out when Sally applies it to the wound. Sally will press a tea bag against his side and add salt, which will help stop the bleeding. Then she'll use a rope to wrap a cloth around Nick's side. In the main car, Victor will tell Kane he's not going anywhere. I'm not going to let you concoct some story with that robotic freak of yours. But Kane will say he wants to find out the truth. My son was framed. By guess who? Victor will reply. Your robotic friend. He'll ask how Kane's freaky friend would know that a bloody knife was planted under his son's sink. Chance will tell him holding Nick against his will is illegal. I thought it was possible that Nick could be a danger, Kane will reply. Then he'll tell Carter to leave. I'm paying you, you're supposed to be keeping me updated, Kane will say to Chance. But Chance will tell Victor he hasn't taken a dime from Kane. All he's interested in is solving the murder. He'll add that Carter told them he'd do anything for Kane, who will ask if they think he's covering for him. Or he's the one who plunged the knife in Damien's back, Victor will add. As for Carter, he'll end up in the drinks area. He'll tell Amanda Sinclair about Victor and Chance's interrogation. Lily Winters will come along, and Carter will tell her she should give Kane a chance. Then Kane will arrive. He'll say hello to Lily. You disgust me, she'll reply and walk away. Kane will ask to talk to Carter alone, and Amanda will leave. I know you hid the knife in Nick's bathroom, he'll say to his assistant. Did you think you were protecting me because you thought I killed Damien? He'll add there are details that don't work, like his private reserve bourbon that was drugged. Not to mention the missing security footage. It was a carefully laid out plan by someone with intimate knowledge of the property. Then he'll ask his assistant if he killed Damien for him. Carter will say he owes him everything. I need you to tell me everything that happened the night Damien was killed, Kane will reply. Can you do that? And Victor and Chance will be standing hidden behind hedges, eavesdropping. Finally, Amanda will run into Nikki and Lauren. Nikki will tell her she wants to trade Chancellor to Kane for her son's freedom. I have the power to make that happen, Amanda will say. Well, of course you do, Nikki will reply. But will she sign over her company to Kane? Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Thursday, July 24th, 2025. Fans can expect Victor Newman and Chance Chancellor to get suspicious of Carter. Meanwhile, Nick Newman gets injured trying to escape. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Victor, who has been following Carter around. Carter put Nick and Sharon Newman on house arrest by locking them in a storage room. They haven't found a way to escape yet, but people are becoming aware that Carter did something to Nick and Sharon. This includes Victor, who will demand answers. Expect Chance and Victor to sit Carter down for a little chat. The assistant admits he will do anything for Aristotle Dumas, Kane Ashby. Instead of questioning Amanda Sinclair, he should be confronting Carter. That is probably who deleted the video footage. Carter will insist that he didn't kill Damien Kane. At this point, Victor just wants his son out of captivity. With that said, Carter might refuse to tell Chance and Victor where he's holding Schick, though. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, July 24th, reveal that Nick will try to find a way to escape. Knowing Nick, he might try to break the door down himself and get hurt that way. In any case, Nick hurts his side. Sharon will try to tend to Nick's wounds, but there will be someone unexpected who comes to the rescue. That person is none other than Sally Spectra. Eventually, Billy Abbott will get roped into the chaos as well. No matter what Billy does to help, Jack Abbott has a challenging decision to make. Based on how Billy deceived Jack about the true purpose of Abbott Communications, it seems that his losses could keep coming. Meanwhile, Billy and Phyllis Summers will continue on their mission to clear Kane's name. Both Billy and Phyllis have a habit of going way too far. While their intentions make sense, there is a mysterious killer running around the estate. Kane claimed his staff went down the mountain to get help. However, that seems to be days ago, so where are the police and what happened to the staff? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Thursday, July 24th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next.